Okay, so this video is actually inspired by all the different apps that I use that at this time of the year do this wrapped thing. So everyone who's on Spotify knows about Spotify Wrap. They tell you what your year looked like in music. Now, I even got one for my Duolingo language lesson app, and even Bass Notes is doing their own fragrance version, which they've done for the last couple of years. And so I kind of thought a good idea for this particular video would be to do my year, i.e. the Sentinel channel, unwrapped. It feels more like an unwrapping, but it doesn't matter what it's called. Go and get yourself a drink, because this might turn out to be a longer video, and it's going to be pretty unstructured. I just want to talk about the year in general in terms of my perfume wearing and what I smelled, what I discovered, what I liked, what I did, and we'll take it from there. So this is a good time to hit pause, get yourself a drink of anything you want, depending on what time of the day it is, and I'll start talking now. So just a couple of numbers out the way. This year, surprisingly to me, when I look back and have a look at the content that I've uploaded this year, my YouTube channel tells me that I uploaded over 70 new videos, obviously not all reviews. And I guess the fact that I started to do a weekly rotation video halfway through the year probably meant I ended up uploading more than I've done in the last couple of years. In terms of the channel's growth, it's not really much different to what it has always been, which has been kind of this sort of linear, organic growth. I got 1,300 new subscribers this year, which is a little bit more than I have been getting in previous years. So who knows? I don't know how the growth of a channel affects new subscriber rates, in an exponential manner. But I really love the fact that my growth is organic, and if people happen to find it and subscribe, all the better. So I've been quite satisfied with how everything's gone with the YouTube channel this year. So it's been a really, I'm not going to say it's been a fantastic year in terms of my perfume wearing, and there's been some highlights. What I'm going to talk about is what my current bottle wardrobe, sort of a snapshot of that, looks like. And I know that at the beginning of the year, I started with 60 bottles. I'm not even going to talk about samples and decants. So I had 60 bottles of perfume, and at the moment it's at 68. So I've actually added 8 to my collection, and surprisingly, quite a number of those were actually gifts. And when I say gifts, I'm not talking about #gifted. I'm talking about friends giving me partial bottles of perfume, which was amazing, and I bought a few as well. So at the moment, it stands at 68. I'm actually not, at this very point in time, not looking to get rid of anything, so it's probably going to stay at that number. I expect that sometime next year I will be emptying 1 or 2 bottles, and I'm not sure if they're going to get replaced at this point. So it'll be a matter of natural attrition. Now, in terms of bottles that I expect to add to what I have now. Once Gilded is able to be shipped overseas, that's definitely a bottle I'm grabbing. More than likely, I've mentioned this before, that I will be getting a bottle of Chanel Paris Edinburgh. And there was probably a couple of others. I'll tell you what is a potential buy for next year. And this is only a recent sort of, I guess, I remembered that I had these on my bottle wish list, and that was Diptyque's Fleur de Peau, which I've always liked, but it's one of those where it sits on my bottle wish list and then sort of gets bumped down by a new bottle of something else. And the other one is actually a bottle. Now that it's available in Australia, I'm going to test this a little bit more before I make a final decision, and that is the current version of Guerlain's Gerakinis from the Le Légendaire collection. It looks like this bottle exactly. So it's an eau de parfum version of Gerakinis. And the reason that I want to test this is because when I was at Exence in March and I went to L'Osmotec's stand, they had a reconstruction of the original Gerakinis, which I smelled and was amazing. And I was told that this current version, the Le Légendaire version, is actually pretty close to that formula. So I'm very interested to try, because I really liked it, and it's kind of been on the periphery of my radar, so to speak. So that might be a possible bottle acquisition at some point in the next 12 months. But we're talking about 2023 mainly. And obviously, as I mentioned, one of my perfume and social highlights was going to Milan for Exence, and combining my two favorite things, which are perfume and travel. It was just a dream come true. I mean, I'd gone to Florence a few years ago for PT, but Milan's the big one, and I got to meet a whole lot more people that I know from social media, perfume circles, and it was just a fantastic time. That was the highlight, meeting the people, and strangely enough, it was great that I went the first time, but I wish that I kind of had more of a plan going in terms of the brands that I really wanted to specifically try out and get to know, because going there, the amount of people, the amount of different brands, and also the amount of perfumes within brands, it's just overwhelming. And it's 4 days. If you went for 4 full days, first of all, you'd get nose fatigue trying to smell everything. So it's an oxymoron to even try to spend 4 full days there and smell stuff. There's just too much, and even doing that, you probably wouldn't get through everything. So this time around, it's about 3 months away. I'm going back, and I'm gonna have a more structured plan, make the most of my time there, and smell. I'm making a short list of brands at the moment, and I'll actually leave a link in the description of the video, so you can see the brands that so far will be at Exence. And if you see, and I've got to admit, looking at the current list, I don't know probably 90% of these brands. So if you have heard and tried of any of these, please let me know in the comments what I should try. Like last year, you guys were really helpful for me to go and smell particular things. So, that was an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to going again. This time I'm going to try and be a little bit smarter and more efficient about the way I use my time for smelling new perfumes, which kind of segues into the next part of 2023, and that was my discoveries, the highlights of stuff that I smelled in. I think a lot of these I first smelled at Exence, and I've been testing samples of these perfumes throughout the year since then. So obviously, you've heard me talk about it so much. Gilded is my highlight discovery of 2023. For me, the best release of 2023. But interestingly enough, the other things I've sampled, and I'm talking about stuff I've just sampled so far, I haven't bought bottles of, but and these are all new things that I tried in 2023. There's a couple of perfumes I'm going to mention which were a surprise for me because they involve accords or styles of perfumes that I don't generally, not that I don't like, I'm just generally not a fan of, and just have never really worked for me. One is Gourmand, and the perfume I want to make special mention of is called Methexis by Manos Gerakinis. This is, and I've talked about it in weekly rotation videos before, this is a combination of ripe fig fruit with just a perfectly balanced dark chocolate, which is on the line of not being sweet, but also not being too bitter like some dark chocolates can be. And those two particular accords, when I wear this on my skin, just work so well, and it's so beautifully balanced that when I wear it, I don't even register it as a Gourmand perfume that I'm wearing, because I'm probably just too used to, whenever I've worn Gourmand perfumes, they've just been sickeningly saccharine sweet, and every other S word that I can think of. But this one just works really well. And the other one of my other favorite discoveries, which is a more recent one that I almost accidentally found out about, and I'm in a couple of videos ago, I did a sort of, I guess a sample unboxing, first impressions on Escentric Molecules Molecule 01, plus I had patchouli, mandarin, and iris. And I was expecting to really like patchouli. I was expecting to like mandarin. Iris I was a bit reserved about, just because iris is one of those notes that I just can't really get excited about. But this one has ended up being my favorite of the three from my very limited wearing, admittedly. But I really like Molecule 01 plus iris. So if you're an iris fan, even though the note pyramid gives you two notes, look, I don't know if it's the combination of the ISOE Super and that particular iris raw material that's being used, but it really smells good on my skin. And the final one, final discovery that I sampled this year that I've really enjoyed, that I want to make mention of, is Zara's Leather Jardin. I've done a review of it, and I every time I wear my little diminishing sample, I'm more and more impressed by it, and I am on the lookout for a bottle. At the moment, I can see that it's online on Zara stores, but they're all in different countries that I can't get shipped here. So I'll keep a lookout for it and maybe see if if I find it anywhere in Milan next year. Which brings me now, I guess I've talked about my favourite discoveries of the year. And when I say discoveries, obviously I'm not talking about me being the first one to talk about them. These were all kind of recommended to me by people I know that I talk to about perfume. And so they were it. Now, the last thing that I want to talk about, given that we are essentially already mid-December, I mean, there's a couple of weeks till Christmas, but I track, as you all know, as most of you should know, I track my perfume wears, my scent of the day. So I always have an idea of what my most worn perfumes are year to year. This year has been interesting year in terms of my most worn perfumes, because if you had asked me to have a guess off the top of my head what my most worn would have been, at least two of these I wouldn't have guessed. But my top three most worn perfumes, this one was the most surprising, Bellamy by Hermes, and I will maintain that, even though, and obviously my own personal opinion, I'll maintain that when I compare this to my original decant of the Hermes Bellamy in the shaker bottle, I think, version, I actually prefer the current version of Bellamy, and the same goes for Eau d'Hermes. That might be a controversial opinion, but I'm going to stick to it. And I also prefer original Bellamy to Bellamy Vetiver. My next most worn, again, not one I expected, but also I'm not surprised because it is one of my all-time favorite perfumes, Habit Rouge, Eau de Toilette by Guerlain. Just wonderful, wonderful classic perfume. My most worn, though, about even more than those two perfumes this year, is one bottle that I've had for a really long time now, and I expect that I will probably be getting a new one sometime next year. Egoist by Chanel. For those who want to know, this is a 2015 bottle. I don't know if those cap sprayers are the same these days, but I've loved it. It's somewhat surprising that this has been my most worn perfume this year, but obviously I love it and seems to have aged in the bottle really, really well. I only wore it yesterday, actually, and I suddenly noticed how much it was projecting and how long it was lasting on my skin. So hopefully Chanel's done the right thing, and it isn't too different to what that is right now. So so 2023 has been a pretty good year. I hope that you found this video interesting, and obviously if you want to add your experiences of 23, highlights, most worn, whatever, I want to read them in the comments. Let's share the information. I'm going to make a few more videos before the end of the year, but I just want to thank everybody who's sort of been along for the ride this year. There's been a couple of ups and downs, but I'm really excited about next year. Obviously, there'll be more podcasts as well, so check those out if you want something more long form, in depth, especially talking to other people in the perfume industry. But other than that, thank you so much, guys, and I'll see you pretty soon for the weekly rotation video. See you later. Bye.